Hello freediving family, we are going to talk about how to dive deeper. So make sure your notifications are on, make sure you like this video even though you haven't even seen the video yet, and let's get into it. So before I start breaking down the individual factors that allow a freediver to dive deeper, me and Erin have been up to some pretty interesting things in the past few weeks while we've been at home, and we wanted to show you what we've been up to, and if you're not interested, feel free to just skip straight to the tutorial. Alright, so we are at the Australian Pool Freediving Championship. I don't compete in pool competitions, and I think they're really cool. But I have some friends who are competing here, so we've come to cheer them on and say hello. Everyone, look, it's Amber Burke, Australian record holder.
No records today.
Alright, so the aim of this competition is to swim the furthest distance underwater. So that's what people are doing. People are using monofins or a bifin.
One fin.
One bifin, but they use two of them. And they're trying to swim the greatest distance underwater, and that is the target. And these are the wags of freediving.
My name's Adam Stern. I love being on YouTube.
We've got two good friends about to go. We've got Darren, who is probably my primary pool training buddy, about to go. And we have Arthur Cuddler, who I've trained with over many years. Two great guys. We're going to see how they go.
3, 2, 1. Official goal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
How's it go, Darren?
You win some, you lose some, Mr. Stern.
Next
Felt
time.
great at the time, but
Next time.
next time. See you next time.
Biggest swim of the day, 177 meters. And we had some swims under 100 meters, so you get a big broad spectrum at a comp like this.
So Adam and I are just leaving the pool championships now. We're driving home. It was a really cool comp. It was really interesting for me to watch because I've never actually ever been to a pool competition before. Adam doesn't really compete in pool, and so it was a new experience for me to watch.
Erin does not really like attending competitions because I think it makes her nervous for my competitions. So I don't try to frequent competitions with Erin all that often for that reason. So that was the Australian Pool Freediving Championship. Pool freediving competitions are a great way for people to get into the world of competitive freediving. And even though pool competitions are their own thing entirely, a lot of freedivers begin by doing pool competitions and then they later start doing depth competitions. It's like a gateway into it. So let's talk about how we get more depth. This topic is not straightforward because there are a lot of individual factors that a diver needs to develop in order to keep diving deeper. The first one though that we are going to talk about is pressure adaptation. Pressure adaptation, very simply, is how well a person's body is adapted to pressure. So at 10 meters underwater, there is twice the amount of pressure than there is on the surface. At 20 meters, there is 3 times the amount of pressure. At 30 meters, there is 4 times the amount of pressure, and so on and so on and so on and so on. As we're diving, our bodies obviously need to be able to handle that pressure. And in truth, there is only one way to adapt your body to pressure, and that is to place your body under pressure. I know that a lot of freedivers talk about different kinds of stretching you can do for the muscles that surround your lungs. Now, I think that that's all mostly for show, and it doesn't make a real impact into someone's body being able to handle more pressure being placed on them. So in order to keep diving deeper,
You simply need to go close to or back to your PB dive or your PB depth regularly. So for example, if your PB dive was 10 meters and your body is completely comfortable at 10 meters, it would be very normal for when you go beyond it, let's say to 12 or 13 meters, that your body starts to brace and you start to tense up as you go into that new area of pressure. It's very normal because your body hasn't experienced that level of pressure before and it's probably freaking out. So all we need to do is then go a little bit beyond our PB, stay as calm as we can, cruise back to the surface, rest on the surface a little bit, and you'll find that when you go back down to that same depth, let's say in this situation again, 12 or 13 meters, all of a sudden you will be comfortable at that depth. All of a sudden, 12 or 13 meters won't be challenging. It won't make you freak out. It won't make you tense up. Because we have demonstrated to our body that it is able to handle the pressure down there. And then once you are accustomed to diving to 12 or 13 meters, then you can go a little bit deeper, slowly, step by step. And this is how we progress a few meters at a time. Now, I know some of you are thinking that you feel pressure on your lungs, that you feel the pressure when you're down there. So it is really important to clarify right now that you don't have nerve endings in your lungs. You don't feel anything in your actual lungs. What you're feeling is the muscles that surround your lungs, the muscles in your thoracic cavity. And you're feeling the pressure there primarily because you are tense, because you're not allowing your body to move in and bend in with the pressure of the ocean. So just relax, progress slowly, and know that there is nothing better for a person's depth progression than diving several days or even several weeks in a row. Longer periods of training are what allow a diver to progress their depths quickly. When I teach on Deep Week, it is not uncommon for someone who has never freedived before to finish the week diving comfortably to 30 or 35 meters. It's just what happens when you train for that period of time. If you're diving, let's say, only on the weekends or like only a few times in a month, when you're not diving, in those blocks, in those gaps between when you're diving, your body will be forgetting what it has learned about how it handles pressure. So it really is those days in a row that allow you to make those huge leaps forward. The other important factor for diving deeper is that we have to make sure that our equalization skills are at the same level as the depth that we are trying to attempt. So I know that while a lot of divers are very keen and excited about training different kinds of breath holding tables and breath holding exercises, usually that time, if your goal is depth, is better spent working on your equalization skills. Running through the equalization exercises that I talk about in my Frenzel tutorial will often get a diver comfortably deeper than if they were just training breath hold tables. The reason for that is that the body's ability to hold its breath or reaching the limits of your breath hold is usually the last hurdle that we have to get over as divers. We're all born with a pretty astounding ability to hold our breath. And in the beginning at least, most of freediving training is just about getting people accustomed to and comfortable with the sensations of longer breath holds. Now, I don't want anyone to stop their breath hold training because number one, it's good for you and it's fun, but I just wanted to slightly shift the emphasis so that we are also doing our equalization training as well. I have made a few videos on how a person can develop and increase their breath hold, so if you haven't seen those, you'll probably want to check them out in my video library because then this video will make more sense. During the time that we can't be diving, we should be training our equalization skills by going through those equalization drills, and we should be training our breath holding exercises so that when we actually go away to depth, whether it's on the weekend or we've got like a dive holiday or a dive trip coming up or it's planned, when we go away to dive, we don't want to be focused on improving our equalization. We don't want to be doing dives that are hard and challenging for our body. We simply want to be doing beautiful, deeper, comfortable dives in which we are slowly adapting our body to more and more pressure. The other aspects should already be trained. The lucky last factor I want to talk about is a person's mental readiness for depth. Now, this is incredibly personal and it's very different from diver to diver, but I'm going to give you two general strategies for getting your mind ready for more depth. The first one is very simple. It's a very good idea to repeat your PB several times before attempting a new depth. It's very important that that PB depth, that PB dive, feels like nothing, feels like something you could do any day of the week before you attempt to go deeper. The other strategy is positive visualizations. During your training periods when you can't be diving, it's a very good idea to start doing visualizations, to start imagining the dives that you want to do and imagining them in great detail. When you imagine those dives, imagine them feeling super easy, imagine them feeling comfortable and like just that you're having a great time. Because what we're doing is we are convincing our subconscious mind that that's the case. Then in the future, when we're attempting these dives, you'll find that your pesky brain is very much out of the way. It's already been convinced that you can do it. Anyway, I hope you liked this video. If you did, make sure you give it a like and share the video around so that your dive buddies, your diving community can see it too. I wanted to say thank you so much to everyone who has contributed to our Patreon page. We are creating the world's most complete video manual for freediving over there, so if you want to check it out, I'll link to it below. And for anyone that's interested in checking out what I've been up to in my own training, I'm leaving for a freediving competition in a few weeks, and this is what I did at the pool yesterday.
So we are training today. I'm going to do 8 laps of 125 meters, and it's going to be fun.
Breathe, mask. Nose clip.
Okay.
Beautiful, baby.
Ooh, that was a toasty little exercise. Actually, to be dead honest with you, I was a bit nervous about doing that one, like as we were coming to the pool. So I've never swam 125 meters that many times in a row, but to be honest, they didn't get harder. So I thought they were going to get harder and harder and harder, but they kind of just didn't, which is obviously a good sign. And it's just cold. It's coming into winter in Australia, and I know everyone's going to laugh at me because it's like 20 or 22 degrees today, and it's just cold, but it might not be cold for you. This video was made possible because of our patrons. Learn how you can support us and get access to the world's most complete freediving manual by clicking here. Also, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and you might want to check out this video because I think you will like it.